In 1956, MGM cut an 11-minute scene from Forbidden Planet that was never intended for theaters. The footage featured Anne Francis and her pet tiger, hinting at themes of innocence, power, and ancient myth that frightened studio censors. For decades, only a few insiders knew it existed. The scene explained why the tiger suddenly attacked Altaira after her first kiss, a moment that puzzled audiences. Its implications were too provocative for the conservative 1950s, touching on subconscious desires and human fear. This buried footage, though unseen, reveals a darker meaning behind the celebrated science fiction classic. From low-budget pitch to studio gamble. In 1952, two painters Matt Bloch and Alan Adler walked into MGM with a story called Fatal Planet. Neither had written a screenplay, and executives dismissed them. At the time, science fiction was considered cheap filler, a genre for leftover actors and recycled monster suits. Yet their concept was different. It was visual, almost wordless. They imagined a planet not just as a setting, but as a canvas for awe, fear, and technology. MGM initially discarded the pitch, but its imagery lingered in memory, waiting for a moment when the studio would finally embrace a bold, expensive experiment. MGM's calculated risk. By 1954, the television boom and public fascination with space prompted MGM to revisit the idea. The studio quietly transformed Fatal Planet into what became Forbidden Planet, one of the most expensive science fiction films of its time. Budget estimates range from $1.9 to $2 million. A huge gamble for a genre typically funded at $150,000 to $500,000. MGM's goal was not merely a sci-fi flick, it was an effort to elevate the genre, creating something visually stunning and narratively ambitious. Sets were built from scratch, and a mix of young actors and seasoned talent was assembled for this audacious cinematic experiment. Shifting the timeline. The original story was set in 1972, but the technology depicted was too advanced for the audience's suspension of disbelief. To solve this, screenwriters moved the story 200 years into the future, placing it in the 23rd century on the distant planet Altair 4. The plot borrowed heavily from Shakespeare's The Tempest. Dr. Morbius represented Prospero, while his daughter, Altaira, mirrored Miranda. Even the monsters were mental projections, manifestations of the human mind, similar to Shakespeare's spirits of vengeance. This blend of literary sophistication and pulp science fiction created a film that explored ego, power, and the subconscious, hidden behind a veneer of futuristic spectacle. Fred Wilcox. The outsider director MGM entrusted directing to Fred M. Wilcox, whose previous work included Lassie Come Home. Critics were skeptical. He had no sci-fi experience. However, the studio wanted a disciplined hand, someone capable of managing large sets, complex effects, and a significant cast. Wilcox approached the story with seriousness, shooting it as Shakespeare in space rather than campy genre material. His restrained, human-focused direction allowed the effects and the alien environment to enhance the story, rather than overshadow it. By treating science fiction as a serious medium, Wilcox helped Forbidden Planet transcend typical genre limitations, giving it depth that audiences and critics would recognize for decades. Cyril Hume's transformative script. Screenwriter Cyril Hume turned Bloch and Adler's visual concept into a psychologically rich narrative. Freudian themes emerged, and the Krell monsters became more than physical threats. They embodied the repressed fears and desires of Dr. Morbius. Hume added layers of mythology and literary resonance, linking human knowledge, trauma, and jealousy to the story's central conflicts. The script transformed the film from a simple adventure into a meditation on the dangers of unchecked intellect and subconscious impulses. In doing so, it bridged high art and science fiction, giving the genre a sophistication that few films dared to achieve at the time. Anne Francis and the iconic Altaira. Anne Francis, only 23, became a cultural icon as Altaira. Her futuristic wardrobe, designed by Helen Rose, included what many consider the first cinematic miniskirt, shocking conservative audiences. Barefoot and innocent, she represented both allure and a new vision of femininity in science fiction. Her character embodied the tension between purity and emerging desire, central to the film's psychological undercurrent. Francis didn't just wear the future, She became part of it. Altaira's role challenged social expectations and introduced subtle, controversial ideas about innocence, sexuality, and emotional power, which MGM initially feared might alienate mainstream audiences. Leslie Nielsen's commanding presence. Leslie Nielsen, before his comedic fame, played Commander Adams with authority. As the moral and strategic center of the spaceship crew, he provided stability and credibility. His serious portrayal allowed the story's surreal elements to stand out without undermining the human drama. Nielsen's presence reinforced the film's exploration of morality, rationality, and leadership under pressure. By casting actors capable of grounding the narrative, MGM ensured that the story's psychological and thematic depth could resonate with audiences. The result was a film that balanced extraordinary visual effects with genuine emotional and intellectual engagement, raising expectations for what science fiction could achieve. The monster of the mind. The Krell monster, central to the story, wasn't simply a creature. It was Dr. Morbius's subconscious made flesh. When his jealousy flared over Altaira's first kiss, the monster attacked, manifesting his inner turmoil. Conventional weapons failed because the threat wasn't external, it was deeply personal. The story revealed Morbius's possessiveness, fear, and denial, creating a tension that felt both psychological and visceral. Even Altaira, seemingly innocent, became intertwined in this subconscious struggle. The monster's attacks were expressions of internal conflict, illustrating the film's bold exploration of desire, repression, and the destructive potential of unexamined emotions. A dark psychological undercurrent, critics later noted the film's incestuous undertones, though subtly conveyed. The monster's desire to protect Altaira reflected Morbius's own psychological complexities, blending paternal concern with jealousy. This layered reading elevated the film beyond a typical space adventure, making it a study of the human mind. Knowledge, desire, and power intertwined, with technology and intellect amplifying the dangers hidden within. The Krell technology mirrored these internal struggles, turning a futuristic setting into a stage for timeless human conflict. The psychological richness, paired with visual innovation, marked a turning point for science fiction as a medium capable of addressing profound human themes: fashion, fear, and the cultural impact. Forbidden Planet wasn't just remarkable for narrative innovation, it influenced culture and fashion. Altaira's futuristic outfits anticipated trends nearly a decade before mainstream acceptance. The film's serious tone, psychological depth, and visual experimentation challenged assumptions about science fiction. Initially controversial and banned in some regions, it ultimately reshaped expectations for what the genre could achieve. Studios realized audiences were ready for intelligent, visually ambitious stories. Forbidden Planet became a benchmark, showing that thoughtful science fiction could be both commercially viable and artistically daring, setting a precedent for future generations of filmmakers. Legacy of a bold experiment. MGM's gamble paid off, proving that science fiction could transcend cheap thrills. Forbidden Planet combined literary sophistication, psychological depth, and cutting-edge visual effects, establishing new standards for the genre. Its exploration of subconscious fears, human desire, and moral complexity transformed science fiction into a vehicle for serious storytelling. The lost scene, the Shakespearean influences, and the careful performances all contributed to a film that remains studied and admired. Its legacy is enduring, a reminder that even within a futuristic alien world, human emotions, fear, love, jealousy, and ambition remain timeless, shaping narratives and resonating across generations.